Welcome to Bahati, talking about real issues that are affecting you as an individual. Insights about financial and personal growth, plus better relationships. And now, Bahati.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Did you see how I started? Like, clearly I was thinking, okay, uncertainties. I remember last time I learned a new word, but I think I have, incertitude, yes. But now we're using uncertainties. There's a lot that is happening in the world of relationships and marriages, in the world of dating, and some of which we are not going to dive into because that is not where we want to dwell on in this particular episode. But for those of you that have been following us, we've had beautiful series with Pastor Agie, and we've been talking about marriage. We've been talking about how to be able to yield and submit and be able to take leadership positions, to go into the introspectiveness of what we have done, to reflect, to evaluate, and to build intentionally, to build happy, godly marriages. Okay, and I know that we're on the same page. We all want the same thing, but how we get to that thing is what matters. So today I have a pastor, actually both pastors. I have pastors, okay? And one thing is they are both married, and I would say happily married, and have godly, happy families. And when we thought about a better way of wrapping up this, we were like, you know what? Let's just have the pastors speak into our lives as we talk about the last bit of uncertainties and how to be able to overcome them, especially in our marriage. But I will still allow them to introduce themselves because they do quite a lot of things, and so that we can know them and be able to actually follow them even on their social media handles and follow their content and what they do, but most of all take everything that they're going to be able to share with us tonight. Okay, so Pastor, it's an honor to have you.
Thank you.
We've looked forward to this day for a very long time.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
Yes, and I know our people would love, I would not have done it justice to properly introduce you, but I would love you to give them who you really are and what you do, so we can start there.
Wow. Mm-hmm. It's an honor to be in the studios. Good afternoon, viewers. Mm-hmm. My names are very simple, mm-hmm. but a little bit complicated. Mm-hmm. It's Herbert Kiwanuka. Now, whenever I say that, people look at my complex and then the name.
The Kiwanuka, and this does not connect.
And it does not connect. so everywhere I go, I have to do something.
There's a bit of Chitara blood somewhere.
Exactly. So I have to do some bit of explanation, and I say, you know what, I got this name, blah blah blah. But
that's what happened the first time I saw you.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I confuse people. You know. There is one lady who told me, by the way, she said that when she came to our church and saw me speaking Uganda, she was mesmerized, and that's when she gave her life to Christ, because she saw a miracle of a white man speaking Uganda. That's what she said later on.
Interesting.
So, by the way, Herbert Kiwanuka, and I'm a pastor in Glory of Christ Church, that is situated in Kasubi and on Kawala Road. Yes. Although we have different branches, yes, across Uganda and outside. I've been married. In December 27th, I'm going to make 20 years.
Wow.
Yeah, we have 7 children.
Wow.
And we have 5 adopted.
Unintentional.
Yes, unintentional adopted.
I love that part.
So we are quite...
but I'm envious of you.
Yeah, sure. So, yeah, I think that's it.
Wow, that's beautiful. I know he does more things than he has told us. That's why I left him to... He does more things, but...
maybe on the other side, I'm an entrepreneur pastor.
Yes.
Yes, I do. Yes. I do.
I've had those parts, like so many moving parts.
So many moving parts. I'm all over.
Yeah.
In finances, in this, in medical, in movie industry, and so because there are 7 mountains of Sophia.
That must be conquered.
Yeah, that must be conquered.
And you're like, I'm going to have a part in each of these
mountains. And this is what God told the church in the book of Isaiah chapter 2, that in the later days, the mountain of the Lord shall be chief, and that mountain is the church.
Okay.
Yes. So it's the church. Then
to oversee all the other
mountains.
Entertainment, education,
exactly.
and wow.
Yes,
wow.
media and so on.
I mean, so you're in the marketplace. You bring the kingdom to the marketplace.
Exactly.
Ooh, that's
yes.
so nice.
But I'm so happy to be here.
Oh, it's an honor to
and
have
also
you.
to meet this lady here.
To meet Pastor Agie. Pastor Agie has given us Buswanyu, has given us, has brought us back, panel beating us back into line, and so many people appreciate. Yeah, I've gotten so much feedback about what we have done and what you have said, and indeed the world is suffering out there. Yes. You know, sometimes you feel like there are so many people who are talking about these things. I think as people who have a calling of God upon our lives, sometimes we feel like there's so many people, so many other pastors, so many other counselors who are doing these things, and sometimes you're tempted to think maybe I've done enough. But again, you find someone else crying or suffering, and you're like, I think I've not yet started.
Yep.
It's better I start now. And so I'm not letting you introduce yourself. Thank you very much. We've had enough introductions, clearly, but in a sweet way, we'll just call you Agie. Okay, we'll just call you Pastor Agie. And later on we'll talk about your event and you know, what you're putting up together, your passion towards the young generation and being able to nurture it. But right now, I want us to be able to start with Pastor Kiwanuka.
Yes, ma'am.
When we talk about the uncertainties,
don't you think it would have been better for ladies first?
No, in this case.
In this case? Gentlemen first.
Okay. Well, because 20 years is not a small thing. 20 years is not a small thing. You've gone through your own fair share of hurdles and you know and all that. Why do you think all these uncertainties are springing up? Because I've been to your church when you're wedding brides and grooms, and you know, and I think you've seen so many of those, and you have so many narratives of what has worked and what has not worked. And sometimes when we counsel people in premarital counseling, sometimes God can even give you a word of wisdom into what will not work and what will work.
Exactly.
And sometimes you're like, I'm not the judge of what will not work, so I will let them because it's their own choice. But you clearly see there are red flags or things that are not adding up. What is causing the uproar of the uncertainties right now?
Well, thank you, my dear Hilda. You know, I don't think that there is anyone in the world has the actual answer. But as you say that, you know, we have tried to have our own share in this. First of all, there are so many reasons why we have all this kind of uncertainty. Low self-esteem is one of them. We go into marriage when we do not know who we are.
Okay.
And we expect maybe to be made whole
by the other person. You expect love. You know, you expect affection, friendship from the other side. Everything.
Everything. And then you load it over that person. And then eventually, there is an emotional breakdown.
Wow.
And also, since you are expecting a lot, even the other person expects too much from you.
Because now the codependence is tilted.
It is. So low self-esteem will cause those kind of stuff of relying on someone else for... And
overly relying.
Overly
depending.
Exactly.
That you're counting on their validation.
Exactly.
You're counting on emotional support.
Exactly.
So that means you're not strong on your own, but you're saying, be a Jesus for me.
In fact, you are my helper. You are going to... You are going to fill my empty space which is inside, which we call the vacuum of love.
No one can do that.
And no one can, because even your partner is expecting so much. And you know, we come from different places altogether. But what we do, well, let me first do that. Let me first say that it's the low self-esteem. If we don't deal with it, it will creep and destroy, or maybe kind of create what, like in a war?
Yes, like we drift apart.
Yes, it could drift apart. You know, because marriage is like bricks built together. But small things will, you know, kind of...
if the cement is not enough, the wall cracks.
The wall will crack. But then, also, if it's not well handled, that's where we get this kind of stuff which we call unfaithfulness. Because you have not, been satisfied somehow.
Found meaning, you're not whole.
Yes, you're not whole, and you're not getting what you expected to get from this person on the day of marriage. Then what will happen? Someone else will come
to fill in
the gap. You will think that he's the savior, and maybe this would have been the right person to marry in the first place.
Wow.
So these are some of the kind of stuff, but also lack of understanding what marriage is.
I want us to dwell a bit on unmet expectations, because I think it's the #1 cause, as Pastor has talked about, because it boils lack of confidence, lack of self-awareness, lack of identity, knowing who you are. They all boil up in one, and then all of a sudden, you are too dependent on someone, and then you feel they have not met my expectations, and then you try to look for those expectations elsewhere. And sometimes not even in just partners, but some people have ended up in booze, some people have ended up with bad friendships, some people have ended up even going out of church. They're like, I don't think I will get what I want from here. And all of a sudden, a marriage breaks. These days, when you ask people, okay, why did you walk away? Sometimes they will give you reasons that do not hold.
That are petty.
Very petty. They do not hold any water.
No.
Like, no one is beating you. No one is, and like, okay, this generation, I don't know what actually is happening. I don't know. Have you seen some of these unmet expectations?
Yes, Hilda. I'll just go back to the Bible. When you read the book of Genesis chapter 2, verse 24, the Bible says, and for this reason a man shall leave his father and mother and be united to his wife, and the two shall become one. That word become is what
I'm getting a revelation out of
That word become is something that most of us have not understood in marriage. Become is a process.
It's a journey.
Become is a study. What do I mean? I have to study Jonathan. I have to, it's a process to understand.
It's an adventure.
An adventure.
To unveil.
Which opens us up to emotional needs. Some people, their emotional needs, Pastor mentioned something and said, you end up having another relationship. Because that is when we are seeing office relationships.
Yes.
You're seeing a particular, let's say, Agie in office.
Church relationships.
Church relationships.
Yeah.
You're seeing this particular
mass choir
colleague relationship.
I know.
Because
even market relationships.
Even market relationships.
Or doctor relationships.
All those things are happening because we've not understood the emotional needs of our partners. We've not become.
And we've not understood our own emotional
needs. We've not understood our own emotional needs. So now you go in and you're finding a William who, for him, he loves family. Or he loves, let me say, since we're all married, sex.
Yes.
He loves having his coffee. He loves, watching a movie. And for you, you want to stay home. And then he's telling you to get out now. Let's go out. No. How can you sit here? May I have to go and hang out? And he hasn't known that actually
you're a homebody.
Agie is a homebody person. Then because you've not understood my emotional needs, we begin having fights.
Then you say you're not supportive.
Then you're not supportive.
I don't
understand you. And then all of a sudden, I want to separate. Why? Because somebody at work
is giving you the company.
Is giving you with her. She's going to go.
Meets my needs.
You meets your emotional needs.
She's my type.
You get
and it feels like a sweet spot.
Exactly.
Oh,
she understands me.
Yes.
But you are going into something else, which you don't know.
Slippery ground.
Yes.
Exactly.
At that time, she might understand your emotional needs. She might be like, Guy mwagala.
No, but she has time on herself.
Yes.
Maybe she's not even committed to you.
No.
So she can flaunt around.
She can do that. So we need to understand. We need to become, number one, we need to understand our partner's emotional needs. When I got married to Jonathan, there are only two. There were three, one passed. There are only two. He's the last born. He's the only boy. I am the only girl.
You can imagine.
We are more than two. With us, we are 10. Yeah.
Family backgrounds. Totally
different.
We were with him. He's a pastor's son. With us, we're raised Catholic, and our father was the only child. So when he got us, we're like siblings to him. So for us, we became his friends, and we're so liberal. Yeah, we sit down, discuss something, and that is it. You know, different from him, who had to be
commands.
Yes, daddy.
Yes, daddy.
Where do I go? Of course, we also raised pastor's child.
Yeah, you're expected to move a certain way.
You get it.
You are molded in a certain way.
Now, for me, of course, my mom was so tough. She's still tough up to today. But the way we raised up, it took me time to understand him. That him and his family, it is so hard for me to separate him from his family. His dad will call him, Jonah Oliwa, could you please come and take me here? He has a car. Jonah, is it okay if we move together? Jonah, I'm going to minister here. Can you please come with me? While Agie is at home wondering,
you're the man of this house.
Where's my husband? I want my husband.
So you are competing.
So we are competing
for the same
person. The family is competing.
Who has limited attention because he's a human being.
So I'm tearing him apart.
You're like,
I am
choose.
I'm like,
do you?
No, I'm tired. I just want you around. So it is until we began understanding. I began understanding this is his emotional need. He's connected to his family. You see, the becoming now. He's connected to his family. There are only 2 children, him and a sister. They are very close, by the way. Their parents need them. They don't also have so many people out.
Support system,
you know, Basumba, you don't trust so many people.
I know.
We are loners. We are loners. You get it. And these emotional needs, there are so many things. Actually, put them down, but let me just remember. You know, it results into the inner wounds.
Yeah, it's a trauma.
Of course. Yeah, sure.
Inner wounds, omwami ngatawonanga. It has remained inside of her.
But do you know that all of us come to marriage when we have those wounds?
Yeah.
Yes.
And without realizing it, we carry the wounds into our relationships. And so on, actually, they tear apart the family.
And I think when you talk about those wounds and the traumas that we carry, sometimes we don't know how to address them because we have not taken the time to understand what the traumas are. But they are there. But I think our attitude then is changed. How you respond, how you react, what you say, because then you're seeing your partner through the glasses of those wounds and those traumas. And so what you talked about, the becoming, the reason I said I get a revelation there is the becoming. That means that it's a continuous journey. You don't become and arrive.
No.
That now I have known him. That is why I used to have a boss, a white boss that used to mention, and both a mentor, he used to say that, let me tell you, I have never understood, and he had been married, I think, for 35 or 40 years, actually more than 40 years. I was like, I have never understood my wife, and I don't think I will ever understand I'll ever understand my wife. So he would tell my husband, because he was also both a mentor to my husband as well, and he would say, you know what, never try to understand, as in, understand what you can understand, but believe me, you will never. After 5 years, Hilda will do something and you'll be like, but where has this been? And so that tells me that because we grow, we are human beings, we evolve, that us getting married does not mean that we have stopped growing.
No.
We grow in our passions, we grow in our purpose, we grow in finding ourselves. So that means that each time after 2 years, I'm going to be a different Hilda. And if my husband remained in his place, then he's going to say, Simutegera. Why? Because we have not grown together. Becoming means that we decide to understand one another and study one another and grow, evolve together.
Yes, ma'am.
Wow.
Yes, ma'am.
You know, you said something that I've been married for like 20 years. I'm making 20 years. December 27th.
That's a huge milestone.
Yeah,
hallelujah,
I appreciate that, and I thank God for that. But this is Hilda and Pastor Agie.
Yes.
These are some of the things that are, as I told you, that, you know, marriage is a different animal altogether. is a college or university that you will never graduate into or from.
It's a chameleon that changes colors.
It's a chameleon that changes colors. It's a notion that you will never cross, a mountain that you will never, you know.
And say, you know what, I have reached the epitome of this.
But as you say that you shall leave your family and you cleave and you become one flesh.
Cleave.
Yes.
So you guys are throwing revelations.
so you know,
plain words with, with heavy meanings.
I have a book. It's called Marriage is an Art. You can paint yours.
Wow.
Wow.
So, like, you know, we have so many artists.
That's your own book?
Yeah, that's our book. Actually,
wow,
our church book.
We need to, yeah.
We wrote that book specifically after going through series of counseling people. I mean, actually, before even counseling, but seeing a kind of, you know, something that keeps on going.
Pattern, a cycle.
A cycle,
that
exactly. That's the right
itself.
one. A cycle that repeats itself when people go into marriage and then they break up and we tried to study. So I called along my pastors and I said, guys, what is going on? I gave everyone an assignment to go and study the pattern of human behavior, human feelings, and you know, when they are getting married, try to study them. The excitement.
Enthusiasm.
The enthusiasm.
Even if you tell them or your musezi.
Exactly, the expectation. So we try to take it, you know, we try to sit down just to analyze without judging, without talking, but you would interview, okay, what do you expect from this man? What do you expect from this woman? And why did you fall in love? What is your ambition or what is your goal in this marriage? We realize that so many things goes on in the minds of people who, you know, wants to get married. But the least of all is that part which you have said. The becoming. The becoming. Most of them...
Because then you have to be sober in order. But my husband usually says that empewe fuwa abagala na isuka fuwa kakategeera.
Exactly.
Nga bayingira obufumbo. Ne katwala eri.
Yeah.
Kati ne bayingira.
And actually, abazungu bagamba that love is totally blind.
I know.
But
I think that's where it
sometimes I add on that even deaf. That
yeah, that's true.
You can't listen to, you know.
And deaf not to just people, but even to God.
To God. Oh yeah, to God. So, you know, we discovered, and then now that's how we wrote the book, that marriage is an art.
You know, just talking about the emotions that take people in marriage is enough to talk about like 24 hours.
Yes.
Exactly.
Like, my goodness, it's a chemical reaction.
Yes.
It is.
Like that bombards your body and it just messes you around.
Exactly.
Wow.
It does not give you time to think. It does not give you time to be sober.
No.
It does not give you time to be intentional. Even when you're praying, you're claiming the other person to be yours.
Yes.
You're not saying, God, let your will be done.
No.
You're saying, Margaret is mine.
And
come what
John is mine.
I know. Give her to me.
To me.
You know, let her heart see me alone.
So, but do you know what, Hilda?
Witchcraft prayer.
You know what? What is at the center of everyone who is trying to get into marriage is what we're saying, is the passion, you know, the emotional part of it.
Yeah.
I want to have him, I want to have her. And you know what? Once we get together, we shall be happily forever married.
That's the expectation.
Expectations. And yet that's a lie.
Naho chimanyi msumba that I think God lets that happen. If he didn't let that excitement happen, so many of us would never be married.
No. If we knew what we know,
even procreation would
exactly. If I knew what I knew, I know now, I would not have married.
My goodness.
But going through it, and then you work around it, then marriage becomes real, and then marriage becomes beautiful.
Oh,
now,
yes.
The work around it is the becoming.
Yes.
You've gotten with the excitement. Now you've gotten there, and it's not the excitement.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not a bed of roses.
It's not.
And now you're thinking, how can I make these thorns face down so that I can sleep on
can sleep on the roses.
Oh, my goodness. I love the analogy.
You said walk around, and I love the walk around. Even when you're walking around, I think that is when we also get into foundations. And this is something that as church leaders, we have neglected for a long time. Did you know that, Musumba, we also get excited?
Oh, yeah.
You look, especially for
Brother
some people.
John,
Especially for some people.
Yes.
And let me
tell you something. Let me tell you something. You know, parents who have seen their children.
Pastor Agie, first wait. I want us to get into this fresh and continue. Let's give them time to get some water, some refreshment. But I want these people to wrap their minds around the notion of becoming, of working around, of the excitement, and also go back into their own. You know, sometimes we don't go back into what happened.
Exactly.
I want you to envision yourself while you were working, when you were putting up those cards, when you were inviting people, the excitement went into that. I want you to go back into that and ask yourself, where has that excitement gone? Like, what happened? Yeah. And one thing I know is that excitement can come back.
Of course.
It does.
Because we are going to talk about it. That's why I'm like, you know what, wait. We are going to get into this properly. But I want you, as we take this break, dive into your excitement. And then for those of you that are getting into the marriage, you're in the middle of excitement right now. Pause. Like, hold up and say, okay. Now, this is the excitement they are talking about. Am I making the right decisions out of this excitement, or am I making the wrong decisions? So I want us to pause there, take this break, and when we get back, we start from right there.
Spirit TV, a place for you.
Did you know that you can acquire a skill in less than 3 months? Dynamic Media School skills you in TV and radio presenting, motion graphics, graphics designing, control room management, show production, audio production, confidence building, lighting and videography, personal branding, social media management, cinematography, video editing, marketing and sales, and effective communication. This is designed to provide practical skills and hands-on experience with the focus on developing critical thinking, research, and communication skills. You will have access to high-quality learning materials, including online lectures and other resources, as well as a dedicated team of facilitators and influencers who are available to assist you with any questions or concerns that you might have. Enroll today. Call 0702 021 834 or WhatsApp 0760-881-331. Dynamic Media School is an excellent choice for anyone looking to start or advance their career in this exciting and dynamic field. You don't get the life that you deserve, but that which you decide. It's time for you to decide to dominate your life. You don't do that by just having passion, you need a plan. Let's show you how you grow practically in character, competence, and in other areas of life. Welcome back to Bahati.
But you know, we are totally different. We are different. I've never been a woman, and a woman has never been a man. So we think completely different.
But again, we need affirmation, we need an endorsement from them.
Yes.
And sometimes they're endorsing from their own wounds also.
Instead of inquiring from God.
Yes.
And you know, sorry, I don't know why I'm thinking of foundations so much. Ochimanyi musumba nti waliwo abantu on their wedding day or before kasiki.
Kasiki, yes.
Do you know that these men go and sleep with girls?
Yeah, I've heard.
Have you heard about that?
Yes. Even the ladies, they call strippers, men strippers. Apparently, they are men strippers who go and they dance with them. Some of them even end up sleeping. That they are saying bye
to the world.
And
being single.
It's not only the tradition of the secular, but it's coming even in the church.
Serious?
Yes.
Well, I think I'm behind the curtain. For that I didn't know, for sure.
Now, let me tell you, when I was, I think I was just finishing university, this family friend was getting married.
But although, sorry, just to cut you short, although I have heard of people who decide to get married, but on the Kasiki, they want to say bye to their former.
Yes.
Okay,
yes,
wait, now I'm behind on that one. I am behind on that one. Wait. Like they sit down.
Yes.
Yes.
And have an understanding.
Yes.
That go and say bye to your ex.
No,
I
no,
go
no,
bye
no,
to
no,
your
they
ex.
don't.
No.
Everyone does their own
does
thing.
their thing.
And they come back as if they're holy.
Yeah, as if they are holy.
Wow.
They tell you, I'm getting married.
I'm sorry,
I'm
you know, we
sorry,
didn't,
oh, how I
think
loved you.
It didn't work
And then
out.
what
It didn't
happens?
work
They even
out.
sleep with them?
Then the guy says, can we say bye?
One more time.
Yeah, one more time. One more time. Do you remember what we did before?
How crazy we were.
Oh, how crazy we were. Didn't you
We loved
love
each
it?
other.
Yes, I love you. And just know I still love you.
And
in that moment, that excitement on those chemicals at work.
Now, that friend that Pastor just mentioned, who knew about John, is telling you, by the way, John Wali, by the way, Agie, omusibule. Ati you know musibule.
Those girlfriends that you were asking before for an endorsement. And Kakati, they are the ones who will say it will end in premium tears. Have you heard of premium tears?
You don't even know that it's going to end in premium tears. With them, they are pushing you, but their agenda behind is premium tears.
I know.
Foundations. Nti olio mukwano gwagenda yo yali mukusaba witchcraft prayers abajja kutuka abo tebajja kuyimirira abo tubasabira nagamba nze muwaddeyo emyezi eki baithe bagikuwa ne bagamba John ne Rachel tumuwadde emyezi eki bwegina bagiyiseemu nnyo ali namukwata na metron nga ye metron at best friend
the sorcerer
naye nga wali atuna nagamba
let me tell you, these things, like we really need God. we really need to have a personal relationship with God.
They gave me time. They gave me time. Because my husband, being a pastor's son, I even told him, how were you going to marry all those women they had prepared for you? Mothers in the church had prepared for them. It's more of a family church.
Wow.
Gospel Assembly Church is a family church. Mothers who had children
had prepared their
lines. The dad had... You know,
eyes on some families.
Yes, Musumba, Serwada, Musumba, different pastors who had children in that. With them, it's you want your son to go into the family
of that you are acquainted with. It will solidify.
We are bringing 80 years to this generation.
Yes. Ate mwana wa Musumba. So if we have Musumba's son with my daughter, it is okay.
Recipe for disaster.
Priesthood.
I know, I'm a PK, but that is recipe for disaster. Because we come with wounds.
So that it's happening. It's happening. It's happening, my dear.
Wow.
It is.
Foundation.
Yes. So when you're counseling people, and then you listen to the story.
You listen to the stories and then you come to know that there's something that is missing out. And, it needs to be tackled. Number one, that people do not know exactly what they are going into. All they think about is emotions. She's going to be mine. I'm going to be his mine. Man, that night is going to be something else.
Just the night. They are catering for one night.
We are going to have the honeymoon. And then they think that ecstasy is going to last for years, and yet they don't know that lust is simply a move that God has allowed to be in us so that we can marry. Yes, for procreation.
They don't
but but lust is a visitor who will help you to introduce you to a bride or to your bridegroom, and after that he will say bye-bye.
And then you will need commitment to
now
stay
you
that
need
course.
Yes. So when Eros kicks out, emotions come in, because now you feel
I don't have the butterflies.
Yes, you have unmet emotional feelings. What's
when he
wrong?
touches me, I'm not feeling as flirtatious.
Yes.
He no longer sends me the message.
Yes, exactly. So, and then new love, new feelings. Then now that's when you get in a
negotiation phase.
Yeah, negotiation phase. But also remember, if you are maybe working at your workplace, you have your workmates, you have maybe whatever you are saying.
Yeah, bosses.
Now, yes, they come, they intend, these ladies, or maybe whatever it is, they intend to offer another opportunity of satisfying your emotion, which is not which is unmet right now.
So they keep throwing comments of,
yes.
Oh, you're so smart.
Oh, this looks
you look so
cute
beautiful.
Does he handle you well?
I know. If he doesn't, tell me,
because I will be there for you. Then because now the lust has gone, you're not allowing to grow. It is now
you're not allowing to grow. That's the word.
It is a different phase now, and then you're saying,
Now, Pastor, this is where most of us, when lust introduces us to our bride or to our bride or to the groom, and it says bye, it kicks out, we start to battle immediately. Maybe it will last maybe like for 1 year or 2 years, at most 3 years, it will go out.
Yeah.
And no
the honeymoon
more,
phase.
the honeymoon phase
will
is
wither.
out. Now you look at this person, not the way she was.
Yeah, without the same excitement.
Without the same excitement. Now that's when you begin to note every small mistakes.
The reality.
The reality sets in.
Aswankula.
Hey, she's not even smart. Hey, what has happened to the figure? What has happened? You know?
She used to walk like this. How come I'm not seeing how she walks?
But you've forgotten she's the same person you saw, or is the same person that
Eros
you
just
met.
went out of the window.
It's just Eros. Eros blinds you, deafens you, and it creates an unrealistic,
fantasy,
a fantasy kind of
life.
But when it moves out, it goes with everything it came with.
Wow.
And
it's
then,
like a whirlwind.
It's exactly. And then now
it's actually
it's a tornado.
It is a tornado. And then now you
like
face
you
the
see
reality.
everything for what
and
it is.
especially us men.
That's when you
men.
see a big nose.
A big nose. That's
A
when you
big
realize
stomach.
that maybe
A small
the family
bum
are small bums, and then you say, but I wanted this, and then, but this is the person you wanted. You know, what has happened? Now, because Eros is gone, your eyes start to see someone else. You know,
who is better?
Who is better?
And better, you look at it as it
Exactly.
the last comes back
One
from
day,
another thing.
One day I met a man. I was, and this was before I got married. But that man spoke as a word. He was a taxi driver. It's amazing. I was still a young man. I think I was around 20-something years. But he mentioned something and he said, mwana wange bw'olikula, omukyala omulungi ali bweru. Tali mumaka. He said something. I didn't understand. Nagamba omulungi abeera bweru. But when I got married, that's when I realized that, you know what, when you get married without knowing, without
the incense
of marriage, that there are three phases we go through. We go from eros to phileo, then to agape love. Now when eros goes out, you are like somebody
you're drowning.
You are drowning. Maybe
is the greener grass.
Is the greener grass. Yes. This lady, she has it all. She has it all. There is a movie. But and then now this is why you find men ending up marrying. And then, this is my close friend. This one is better than my family now. She is my family, the mother of my child.
And I think that's why it calls it cleaving. Cleaving is
now cleaving.
Yes. Because now anything can take you off.
Exactly. Now you walk around it. Then from there, revelation.
I know.
Now from there, you go to agape. Now agape is unconditional. I don't mind whether you're walking catwalk, whether you are what.
I
don't mind. Now I look at you from the godly point of view, my beautiful lady, my wife. And I call my wife, for example, for me, I call my wife so many names. But every name is intended, baby, mommy, love, beauty. Now all those names, I know when to call them, even if we are quarreling. Now, I won't say that I'm a saint, I sleep in heaven and I come back.
No, that happens to all of us.
No, yeah.
It happens
so
to
sometimes,
all of us.
yeah, we do, you know.
You have conflicts.
We have conflicts.
You disagree.
But even when we are...
Mami chino.
Yes.
Baby chino.
Baby,
love.
Please listen to me. Baby,
beauty.
Listen to me. Yes, listen to me.
Our emphasis.
Yes.
There he's emphasizing.
Exactly.
I know. Now, it's like all you want. Get
yes. We need to solve this. No, I'm not going to. I'm not going to agree with you on this. I'm actually bitter with this. But you know what? You're still my love.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know, you're still my love. Yeah, and I'll call you that name, even if, or maybe sometimes I may turn this side, she may turn the other side.
Yeah.
But when I want to pass by, I would say, baby, can I pass? You know?
Wow.
So,
you see something, and you're thinking about her.
Exactly. So, you know, God intended us that, yes, after Eros, when that ecstasy is gone, now let me walk around. Let's sit down and understand that, you know what, in reality, in life, no one is going to satisfy a man's soul.
Yeah.
There are three things that will never be satisfied. Their eyes and their heart's desires.
Yeah.
Yes.
And always,
keep changing.
They keep changing. And secondly, beautiful people will never cease to be.
Even more beautiful.
And even more beautiful.
Pretty.
And thirdly, always what you have will lose essence, will lose the beauty, will lose the glamour. And what you don't have will always
look more glamorous.
Yes, will look. So when I came to know that, I sat down, and then in this phase of, you know, walking around, of cleaving, I said, now becoming. We need of becoming. We need to understand each other. This is what I am. Please, this is what I feel. I am a man of God.
Know me.
It doesn't mean I'm blind. I am a man of God. It doesn't mean that my senses died. So please do this. Help me this so that I may not end up, you know,
on the wrong side.
On the wrong side.
Yeah.
So I'm also going to support you because I know you're a very beautiful lady. Yeah, my wife is very beautiful. You know
I know her.
Yeah,
I know her.
She is.
She's indeed beautiful.
So I told her, you know what, baby, I'm going to trust you. Yeah, because she wanted to go and work, and many people are saying, you can't let your wife go and work. You know, men will take. And I said, no. You know, if she can go because another person has,
even if she's home, she will be taken.
She will be taken. And to me, it's okay because she didn't love me anyway, maybe in the first place.
Yes.
Or there is something which I don't do. So, and then in that kind of...
So you're secure in your love for her.
Exactly.
Yes.
I'm
you
secure.
let her be. You let her become.
I let her be.
Wow.
And I told her, please let me be, because I'm a pastor. Wow. I'll have so many people who come around.
Yes.
And I told her, know that I love you so much with all my heart.
Trust
you are my
me.
family, you are my this, you are my this, and so on and so forth. So please, let us be there for each other. And let us trust each other. And you know what, in that phase, I know it wasn't easy.
Yeah.
It wasn't easy.
Building it up.
Of building up. We also, we knocked so many walls.
You go through the rough patches.
Yes.
But you come back to each other.
But we had to come back. You know what, it is so much, Hilda. It's so much what we went through. But we sat down and said, you know, we are not going to break. We are going to work out this.
Wow.
And from there, that's when we started to realize that we belong to one another. We are going to have kids with one another. We are going to
bring up a family.
We are going to make a family. And then we looked through the scriptures. The purpose why God brought the women, and I mean the marriage thing altogether. But until anyway, from there, I started working on myself. I never looked at my own interests, but I started now to look at the interests of my partner, that I am the husband, I am the head, I'm supposed to be the provider.
How do I support her?
How do I support
How do I lead her?
Even emotionally, you know. Now I let go of myself. By the way, this is...
That is the sacrificial
Yes,
love.
I'm telling you the truth. Nothing my wife can do that can put me off.
Wow.
Yeah, I made up my mind. I said, okay, I'm there for her. And I told her, you know what, my love, I love you. And
you know, I fear men who say that. That means they have made up their mind that it's this or this.
It's contentment.
I don't have any other alternative.
Exactly.
Contentment.
I know.
I can't walk it. I can't walk out. So I reached a moment that Hilda and Pastor Agie, you know, I just reached a moment, and I said, I shouldn't expect much from her. By the way, this is me.
Yes.
I'm saying the truth.
Yes, I should expect
Christ.
much from myself.
Yes. So I don't expect anything from my wife, but I expect much from my side towards my wife.
Yes.
So
That's
that
leadership.
has helped me. That has helped me. That even if she does anything, I always look at myself. That okay, what am I supposed to do in this situation?
Wow.
Am I supposed to be annoyed because she said that? I have a choice to be annoyed or
to
not,
react,
or to react or not. You know, that is that is within my hands.
Yeah.
That's what the Bible says.
You can't control what she's doing.
I can't.
But you can control how you react to it or respond to
Good.
it. Wow.
That's a wonderful.
Wow. You know, we have a deficit of good men in this country.
Let me tell you something. This is what our young men need to hear.
Yeah.
Because one thing that we have done, remember the other time we were talking about the sengas and the kojas?
Yes.
The koja perspective was to tell them these things.
Yep.
Not to tell them to shake waist.
How to just how the wife should be doing
and
or
satisfying them in bed.
No. That
because you can't satisfy everything in someone's life.
No,
that is just
can't.
a secondary thing. For them to know that they are the head. Do you know
leaders.
why Eve paid attention to the snake? Adam stepped away.
From his...
The one who got commands.
What he's talking about. You know when he was talking, I said, this
is what we need.
I might begin,
I know.
you know, a service here. This is what our young men need, Hilda.
Wow, wow.
This is what they are supposed to hear. Most of them are competing.
Most of them is what's in this for me.
Yes,
it's about serving my needs.
It's about me.
Yes.
It's about me.
And then saying, no. She doesn't have to do this. That is leadership.
Exactly.
He is the head. He does not have to shout out and say, you know, I'm the head.
I am the head.
No. He has taken his position. When my husband came back home, he said, I'm back into my castle.
Wow.
I am the king in this castle.
Wow.
When you see Agie throwing tantrums, he will pay attention and say, okay, okay. He will know that at this time I am off, and then he'll be like, I will not have to answer her now. I will wait. Leadership. I will wait. Yeah. So he waits. When I come down, then he tells you. Another day he tells you, by the way, this is what I wanted to tell you. And I'm sorry that you're not expecting this.
Yes.
So he takes his position. If Agie is shouting, it doesn't change you from being the husband.
No.
It doesn't change you from being the head of the family. It doesn't change you from being the father of the family.
No. Yeah.
If Agie is shouting out, then that means there is something any leader,
should
like
address.
Pastor Herbert has said, any leader would take it and say, okay,
where is this
I
coming
think
from?
this, I have failed here. I think
where
I need
is
to
it coming
correct
from?
it.
What do I have to do here?
Hallelujah.
Even when the trouble is with her, how can I tame her? How can I calm her down?
Exactly.
But how can I still do that in a loving manner?
In a loving manner. And I love...
By the way, I'm speaking on the side of men.
Yes.
That a woman is one kind of a person that can be controlled easily.
Anytime.
Anytime.
And it doesn't matter how much she earns. It doesn't matter what position she holds. It doesn't matter how much she knows God. Like, it just doesn't matter.
It doesn't.
A woman will always be a woman that wants to follow a leader.
Exactly.
Yes.
And once she doesn't have that, then catastrophe.
Yes.
And most of the time, us men, you know, we have two kinds of leadership. We have the leadership that goes forward. You want to be the first. But also we have the leadership that leads from behind.
The servant leadership.
Yes, the servant leadership. Jesus said, whoever wants to be first, let him go
Be the last.
No, men want to take dominance in the home.
I am the man.
I am the man. I am the man. But actually, you don't need to. You promote the lady.
Let me tell you, she will bow down.
She will.
She will.
Submission will
She
happen.
will.
Give her to take control over the finances. Because women are finance controllers. Well,
because we are thinking ahead.
Exactly.
We are thinking of our children at campus while they are just born.
As far as I'm concerned, I know there are some men who say, you don't know my wife. Maybe you don't, yes, you don't know I don't know your wife. It's simply because you have not given her that opportunity. Tomulaze, that this woman is in this home, in this house.
And this is her, she belongs here.
This is her home. Give the woman a home.
And look at this.
that house, that management,
pastor.
and she'll give you the best.
One thing happens, and a man tells you,
Exactly.
So you do not have a sense of belonging. That even when things become, you sort them out, and you come back, you have created a plan B in the woman's mind. So she's saving her own money. Just in case you chase her, she will have somewhere to start.
Yes.
So most women are in the marriage, but they left the marriages so many years ago.
And if they left the marriage, do you know why? This is the reason why we have so many marriages breaking up, breaking apart, simply because they say, but the moment you're married, the Bible says, it is the woman who builds the house. With her wisdom, fills it with beautiful things.
Yes.
Now, the reason why you're not seeing the beautiful things and the house built is because you have not given the architecture and the master builder the opportunity, the blueprint to build it.
Hilda, should I say hallelujah?
I know. I can see.
I am not settled in my chair.
You do a survey. You know, in that book where we wrote, we did a survey. Every marriage where you go and you see beautiful houses, nicely decorated, ask, the man will say, the lady.
No, the thing is, and I like the fact that you're talking about all these. I have never had another, I've never experienced another man talk about this apart from my husband. And he practices it to the dot. In that, he will let you know what kind of house you build, where you build it, what color you put in that house, like literally everything. But you know, when you have somewhere and you feel a sense of belonging, like in Siangeagwayo, this is where I am and this is what I must build with everything that I have. So I do not have a plan B.
No.
He looks at me and he's like, there is no separating. If you're planning on anything, just know we are dying together. Like we are together in this.
Into this.
Until death do us, but we are together in this. And so, you're not like, I am tied here, but you're like, you know what? He has given me the leeway to do everything that I can in order to build this house. So I am going to outdo myself.
Exactly.
That is where the Sente Yomukazi came from.
Sente Yomukazi, Yochikondolo. So, what were they doing?
What you have just said. Because you did not understand this woman. You did not have her emotional needs. You did not lead. So you put into her that, you know what, anytime
you go,
this money I will go, leave me with the children, he will go get another woman,
and remember,
he will go.
Some of us come from broken families.
Exactly.
Yes. So now we have a failed past that we do not want the cycle to repeat. So that means kona tutia.
Yes.
You get it? And I had to take time. We talked about wounds.
Yes.
I had to take time and heal from that and recover from that so that I can open up my heart to receive the love that I was supposed to receive. And that is becoming.
Yes.
Because some of us are in love but with closed hearts. We are like, we've put on glasses, whatever he does, this is what he intends. So we interpret, we tiptoe, we are on eggshells, and we are praying prayers that God can never answer. Because where is he going to place the blessing if your hands are closed and your heart is closed?
That is when people go into people's phones, your husband's phone, and you're like,
you tiptoe. I don't need to do that.
Where?
I know, I don't need to do that.
It creates, I hear you, Hilda, it creates insecurity. And let me tell you, I have seen people defending what is wrong to the core because of the wound. They do
carry.
not know where to go. They're saying, oh, you're Tabitegeda. She doesn't just understand. My husband, if you do like this, he will do. There is a wound that has not healed. You have, and then says, I like you said, some of them come with wounds and say, I saw my dad, the way my dad treated my mom. I've seen my friend, my best friend, the way the husband, until they separated. So you're carrying this wound to your marriage.
I'm kind of seeing
so you live your life.
The way it is moving, the way he's doing
I can see where it's going to end.
I have to save my money. I have to have my plan B.
We can become prophets of doom.
Yes. You're declaring it upon yourself.
Yes.
You're speaking it upon yourself. You're becoming like... You know how Caleb and Joshua, imagine they had sent the James Bonds of that time.
I know, to
James
go spy.
Bond, special force. Go and see that. The same special force comes back and says...
6 fingers. The other ones,
we are done.
We are grasshoppers. They are going to eat us alive.
And you know, when they spoke that over their lives, God,
the fear gripped the multitude.
God did not let them get out. See, they had declared it upon themselves. It happened. The tongue.
So affirmations and confessions also belong in a marriage.
Yes.
When you come with your wounds, it doesn't matter what you feel, the insecurities you feel, speak prosperity, speak longevity, speak love, speak commitment, and then do not just speak, but act it out.
Yes, ma'am.
Risk it all to gain all.
To gain all. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Wow. Okay, now we really have to go out of here. I know you have questions, and I know I want us to create a time where we can have responses and answers to these questions, plus live audience. Now, do not throw this back at me. I am planning, because I know that sometimes we talk about like so many good things and we leave people on fire and they do not have time to ask questions according to the relationships where they are, the marriages where they are, what is happening wrong and what is not working out. But I believe I would want us to do that. In case you have a questions, you have the numbers on your screen. But again, we will create a time where we can interface with you, answer these questions. I know we are crying, I know we are bleeding, I know some of us are about to give up, but hold on a little longer. Hold on a little longer. And in case you need help, come. Meet us. Each one of us actually conducts counseling sessions, therapy, whether in marriage, whether in child upbringing and what. You can be able to reach out to Pastor Herbert, you can reach out to Pastor Agie, you can reach out to me. Let's sit down and talk before you throw in a towel, okay? I know that certain things can turn around, and once we hold hands, join heads, two heads are better than one, we can come to a better conclusion than just letting go and throwing a towel. But from us to you, we love you, and have yourselves a great night.
Up next.